Many times when students want to have parties, they'll come and borrow his system. Okay, if the boy say no, on condition that it is me that is handling the sound system too. So when he hands over the sound system to me, because I'm going to be the DJ, all the things that flow in that party, I'll be part of the party. So most weekends I was occupied. Most weekends. I told you earlier that I tried to change my course from insurance to banking because I was already in the banking, I was already bank staff before I got admitted. And I attended the first course unit in insurance, which is law relating to insurance. And I fell in love with the course and I changed. I just went and terminated the change so that I will continue in insurance, and it's instructive to just say at this time that even the Malam Deu, who got me the admission, he didn't know that God was using him to program my life because today I've been in insurance since 1981 to date. Today I'm a fellow of the Council of Registered Insurance Brokers in Nigeria. I rose through the ranks. I've worked in international companies, and I set up my own company, my own brokerage company since 1995. From that intervention of Malam Deu, I cannot tell my story without mentioning Malam Deu. I cannot say anything that I've become in insurance that insurance has done for me. It goes back to that man, insisting, instructing me. He didn't take my father's permission. I just came and told my father that this is what has happened. Oh, I know I know that he went to thank him, but it wasn't what Malam did. He just did because that was the kind of person he was. Like I said, if you went to school in Samaru, particularly if many students from the south, students get broke mid-term towards end of term. That's where everybody goes to eat. And I'm sure one or two people who will listen to this clip will confirm what I'm saying. Now school life in Congo, I was very, very heavy in the social circuit. I was a basketballer. I later became the captain of the Congo team. I didn't make it into the university team, but I trained. We used to train, but I never made it into I never made it into the first team. But in Congo, I was captain 80-81. And I played alongside with very great Nigerian names, but I don't want to do any name dropping at this time. But life on campus is very interesting, very, very interesting. Parties, from Friday, Saturday, we party. You used to say that you will party as if it was 1999. 1999 was very far then. But you see, today we're looking at it in the rear view mirror. In fact, 1999 is no more in the rear view mirror, and that was it. The campus life was really, really interesting. I made had very good friends, had friendships that are still up till today. Up to today, the friendships are still very strong. Some of the great influences that one had, And one thing I remember is that I never stepped into the chapel once. Never. I didn't even know what the chapel looked like. I just knew where it was, but I never stepped into it because Sunday morning, one would be nursing a king-size hangover you know, or even one has gone out to town because either went to town, go back home to Samaru, or something. Sunday morning, there was nothing about. There was nothing about church. No, 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 no. It wasn't part of my itinerary at all. Mm. I was so I looked so unserious that somebody once came and told me, look. I remember the guy. I don't want to call his name, but he came to my room that time. He said, look, the kind of guy, don't you want to do anything with your life? I was just looking at him. He said, at least let me be try now, and even if it's pass, you will get and leave. But he didn't know that the moment I come from class, I'll just go over my notes. Because by 3:30, by 4, I'm going to play basketball. And then weekends, from 5 o'clock, we're going to look for somewhere to drink. From drinking, we're going to go to parties and stuff. So, in the eye of many people, I wasn't serious. But I knew I knew what I was doing, you know. But you see, campus life, in my second year, I remember my roommate was a soldier. He's a retired general now. He's retired. He did very well in the military. And because he was already a second lieutenant, so I had access. He had money, and we had the same interests. So my meals were taken care of. My regular alcohol habits was well funded. And then he had this powerful sound system and I was very interested in music, because in school I was a DJ. I used to mix tunes a lot, and so many times once students want to have parties, they come and borrow his system. Okay, if they borrow, say no, on condition that it is me that is handing the sound system to. So when he hands over the sound system to me, because I'm going to be the DJ, all the things that flow in that party, I'll be part of the party. So most weekends I was occupied. Most weekends. If I wasn't occupied because of our own sound system, I was occupied because the social circuit, we just had to be part of it, whether on Congo campus, on or main campus, or aviation. At that time, aviation used to be the hottest part of the social life because young pilots were there. They had money. They used to run the hottest parties in town, And I'd honed my drinking skills from the bars. I told you all the vices in the barracks. I was part of it. I'd learned how to smoke. In the barracks, you take a dried maize stalk and push a broomstick through it. You set it alive and you pretend you are smoking. Or when barrack parties happen, people will leave their drinks. When they are dancing, you just go and take a sip. So I've learned how to drink very well from the barracks. So drinking was not much of a problem. I was already, at that very young age, I was already a veteran, you know. And that was the life on campus. And in the midst of all of that, maintained very good friendships. I had one lecturer. Incidentally, we have the same surname, Akubo. And he told me, he said, Akubo, you will not pass. I said, sir, I will pass. He insisted, he said, I will fail you. I said, you can't do that to me, sir. Why? because I was very friendly with my classmates. Up to today, we are friendly, and he thought that I was dating a particular girl that he was interested. And the guy is Mr. Kubo was very short. I was very tall. So he maybe I don't know whether it was the height he was envying. I don't know what it was, but he disliked me and he didn't hide it, and everybody knew. Everybody knew that he didn't like me, but it didn't stop me. It didn't stop me from doing what I was doing, and he couldn't fail me. The story continues. Thank you.
Viewers, you will remember that our last testifier, Mr. Chris Alejo, who was already a drunkard, went to do industrial attachment in a brewery. And instead of drinking the ordinary beer, he went and drank the concentrated alcohol that knocked him out for 3 days. Here you are hearing the story of the barracks boy who honed his skill on the barracks, coming to live with a military officer who had the money and the best music equipment. He became a DJ. The life of Billy Brown was defined by what? Drink, party, spend years, maybe you never entered a chapel. God did not appear anywhere on the radar of his life. Yet, it was this God that was planting destiny helpers in his life. Appreciate the love of God. Appreciate the mercy of God. Appreciate the kindness of God in your own life. If you look back, you will find out people went out of their way to help you. The story of Mr. Kibo is getting more and more interesting. We will see if the barracks boy ended up a drunkard all his life. It's coming out. So let me encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. Forward these clips to your friends. Ultimately, you will see God makes a difference. Thank you very much. God bless you.